Hey everyone, how's it going? I hope you're all doing well as usual. So I'm back today with another video, this time with a response video actually, sort of an unofficial response because it wasn't an official thread. This is for George G's Room of Rock. So as you probably know, I've followed George's channel for a while now. We have a lot of similar musical tastes, like I think compared to some people, like we have this in common, we both like extreme metal and hair metal, and a lot of people don't like that combo. I know some of you do, but yeah, that's just the way it is, and that's why I can relate to him a lot. And sort of incidental to that, he made an interesting, not thread, but a video recently where he was talking about his favorite power ballads, and I've decided to make a response because I thought that's a really interesting, original idea on YouTube, because you know most people on the extreme metal channels don't talk about it. So I thought, yeah, this is something different. And you might have heard me say that I have a soft spot for hair metal because that's the first kind of metal I liked, you know, when I was 10 years old. You know, that's what got me into this kind of heavier music, you could say. Yeah, so that's why I just thought this would be fun and original. For those of you who only like extreme metal, once again, you don't have to unsubscribe just because of this topic. I know some people can get so sensitive and particular about it, but yes, please don't. The next video, actually, I will be talking about one of my favorite black metal bands, like doing a discography ranking. So if this one is not really your cup of tea, the next one might be. So yeah, and on that topic, talking about power ballads, like I related that to hair metal and glam metal, but they're not necessarily just restricted to those genres. So George mentioned his favorite ones. I think they were very good choices. I've got a few different ones. I will say this about power ballads. People may have different definitions of them, but this is my understanding of what a power ballad is. I just wrote this detailed definition, but I said the characteristics of power ballads, usually they're slow to the slower end of mid-paced songs, and they usually start quietly with a build-up to a loud, heavy chorus and or bridge in the song. They often feature clean guitars and or pianos, and they're usually dealing with the themes of love and heartbreak, but not always. Sometimes they can tell a serious story, or like a song about contemplating life. For example, Skid Row's 18 and Life. See, that's not a love song. So power ballads aren't necessarily covering that. And sometimes power ballads can even be uplifting or inspiring. So in other words, the subject matter is usually quite deep and heavy though. Like you could say that power ballads usually tug at the heartstrings both lyrically and emotionally. And yeah, you have to admit these are powerful songs. And yeah, like I said, I related this to hair metal, but like not all power ballads are necessarily hair metal or even metal. So you'll see in my list today, there are some which are outside of this genre. However, I will be honest with you, most of them are within the hard rock hair metal category. Now, there are loads of hair metal and just power ballads in general out there, but I'm just not gonna name all of the ones I know. What would be the point of that? This list here today is my absolute favorite power ballads, okay? So I'm picky with power ballads, and I certainly don't like all of the ones that came out. Like a lot of power ballads are garbage in my opinion, and I often find some power ballads too cheesy and or depressing. And I'll just give you some examples of popular power ballads which I don't really like Home Sweet Home by Motley Crue, Alone Again by Dokken, and Every Rose Has Its Thorn by Poison. Ugh, God, that song is so depressing. So these are examples of popular power ballads which I don't like. But anyway, I've been rabbiting on for nearly 5 minutes, so we'll get to my list. So I couldn't just limit it to a top 10, sorry about that. These are my 14 absolute favorite power ballads of all time, in no particular order other than alphabetical. So let's go. All right, my first favorite power ballad from Alice Cooper's album, Trash. And you might be thinking, is the song Only My Heart Talkin'? That was the big power ballad single from this album. That is a good song, definitely. It did grow on me a lot, but actually the song I'm talking about from this album is the second last track, Hell Is Living Without You. That is a song about heartbreak, but I like it because it's so atmospheric and emotional. There are keyboards in that song, and there's just this atmosphere of longing and melancholy. So it's like, it is a song about heartbreak, but it has this really dark atmosphere, which I really enjoy. And like I said, the synths just add to that atmosphere. And I really like the chorus. They do this clever thing where like the ending word of each line is the first word of the next line. For example, hell is living without your love ain't nothing without your touch. Me, heaven would be like hell is living without you. And I just think that's really clever. But great guitar solo in this song. And yeah, it's brilliant. So like an unconventional one, but Alice Cooper, Hell is Living Without You. All right. Up next, from Black and Blue's album In Heat. So Black and Blue, hard rock, hair metal, and the song, the power ballad that I'm talking about from this album is I'll Be There For You, which this is an example of an uplifting power ballad because it's a song about, you know, being there for someone, you know, supporting a friend, you know, and it is like, it's inherently cheesy like a lot of power ballads are, but trust me, when you hear the chorus of this song, like you just can't help but pump your fist in the air and sing along. Maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but you know, like, I'll be there for you. You can count on me when you get lost along a dark, lonely road. And it's like, oh, absolutely brilliant. But like just the riff, like, oh, I'm not going to sing because I can't sing for shit, but trust me, it's a really good song. And then the actual verses are sort of like, they have some synthesizer, like some uplifting, cheesy synthesizers and sort of clean guitars. Like it's a soft verse, but then the chorus is so absolutely fist pumping and anthemic. And it's a really good uplifting power ballad. Like cheesy, yes, but cheesy doesn't necessarily mean bad. So yeah, that's my next one. Black and Blue with I'll Be There For You. By the way, it's needless to say, because these are my top 14 power ballads, I can wholeheartedly recommend them all. And I suggest if you like power ballads, or if you haven't heard some of these, go and check them out, because I think you won't be disappointed. All right, what have we got next? Okay, we can't talk about power ballads without Def Leppard. Okay, and the funny thing is, I think most people would say that their favorite power ballad by Def Leppard is Love Bites from Hysteria, and no doubt that is a good song, but like, you know, like I said, I'm picky with the sentimental stuff. Sometimes it grabs me, sometimes it doesn't. Now, so this power ballad that I'm talking about is from the next album. This is Adrenalize. Oh, ain't that fucking typical? As soon as I start making this video, it gets overcast, so I'm gonna turn the light on. Yeah, I got some feedback from some of you in the last video, and you said on these dark overcast days it's better with a light on. I find myself inclined to agree. Yeah, so from this album, Adrenalize, like I've mentioned that this album has a lot of really cheesy songs with absolutely terrible, god-awful lyrics. You know the songs I'm talking about, and it has a few power ballads, but there are some really good songs on this album. And the power ballad that I'm actually talking about is track 4, Tonight. This has always been my favorite Def Leppard power ballad. Again, because it has a kind of dark, somber, melancholic atmosphere, you know, with the acoustic guitars and Joe Elliott's vocal melodies. I just think it's like it's got this atmosphere of mystery and foreboding, so it's like a dark and atmospheric power ballad. Like, I really like all of it. They have all the typical Def Leppard vocal harmonies. The chorus is very powerful, excellent guitar solo in this song as well. So yeah, it's not the conventional one, as I said, but you're probably picking up on this vibe like from the Alice Cooper one as well, that I like a lot of the power ballads which have a sort of dark or melancholic atmosphere, and Tonight is one of them. And I think it's such an underrated song. Like, I can't believe this didn't become a bigger hit for the band. Like, they have some other power ballads on here which I don't really like Stand Up, Kick Love Into Motion, very cheesy, but no, not for me. Yeah, but Tonight, absolutely brilliant track, so there you go. Check it out if you haven't. All right, coming up next, all right, another one for me, Dokken with Jaded Heart. This is from the album Under Lock and Key. And again, I really like this song because it has a dark atmosphere. Like, there's a lot of atmospheric, clean guitars, and then the chorus, like, it's just, again, fist pumping, really heavy with the raunchy riffs, and like, you can't help but sing along, you know, like Jaded Heart. You look but you don't see, life in front of you, you can't believe. I always sing my heart out with that, like, just being honest with you there. But yeah, really good song, and this is a fine example of how Dokken have always been a band which have focused on atmosphere, especially with those clean guitars in the verse. And the topic is interesting as well because it's talking about, I think he's interested in or in love with someone who has been hurt too many times, so they're not opening themselves up. So good theme there as well. So I think it's a really interesting song lyrically and a great song musically. So Dokken with Jaded Heart. Good, I'm getting through these a bit faster than I expected. I just had a long and rambling intro, sorry about that, but you know, it's me we're talking about. All right, what next? Okay, up next, Europe with Carrie. This is from the album The Final Countdown. So yes, Carrie is a classic, sad breakup piano ballad song, but I love it. Like, again, some people would say, oh, it's so cheesy maybe, but that's what's good about it. Like, cheesy isn't necessarily bad. And what I've always liked about Europe, because they're a Swedish band, their music, especially the 80s stuff, just invokes this very sort of Scandinavian atmosphere, and it's just a great like it's a piano ballad, but it's got such a great chorus, which is very easy to sing along to, and like the topic is like heavy and sad, but it's just still such an enjoyable song to listen to. And yeah, I remember like a few years ago when this was playing, like we're having a barbecue at my girlfriend's house, and I sang along to this, and she found it quite amusing. I don't blame her, actually. But yeah, really good song. So Europe with Carrie. Yeah, like again, cheesy is not necessarily bad. Okay. All right. Okay, now this is interesting. Remember I said not all of my selections are necessarily hair metal, and this is an example. Up next, Iron Maiden, believe it or not, and the song I'm talking about, from Fear of the Dark. I should slow down. Yep, the song I'm talking about is track 6, Wasting Love. You know, which is thematically, that's a very sad song. It's about people, you know, missing out on opportunities they could have had with good people in relationships. But again, the song is just so dark and melancholic, and really, it's one of those songs where it's sort of, it makes you contemplate life, you know, a bit like No Prayer for the Dying, which is not a power ballad, but this one certainly is. You know, like, you know, that opening line, like, maybe one day I'll be an honest man, up till now I've been doing the best I can, long roads, long days of sunrise to sunset. Like, the vocals are just so atmospheric and dark, I love it. And then the chorus is absolutely so depressing, but also heavy, and you hear Bruce's vocals there really yearning, you know, when he screams, wasting love. So, just, yeah, an unconventional song for Iron Maiden, something different for them, but like, as my brother once said, like, they had never done a power ballad before, really, and then the first time they did one with this song, they absolutely nailed it. I suppose you could say Children of the Damned is a power ballad too, but I mean, this one is especially in terms of the lyrical content, because it's talking about love and relationships and everything, but a very sort of dark, depressive, and melancholic spin on that, so it's kind of like a depressing theme, but I really like this song. So Iron Maiden with Wasting Love. Okay. All right. Okay, just checking the order here. Okay, now this one, some people may dispute the idea that it's a power ballad, but in my opinion it is, and I absolutely love this song. This is by Keel, and the song is Because the Night. Now, wait a minute, I know Because the Night. It was a song originally written by Bruce Springsteen for the Patti Smith Band, and I think he might have done a recording of it too. But yeah, the hair metal hard rock band Keel, which was produced by Gene Simmons, they did a cover of this, and I remember like Ron Keel, the main musician, he said, we brought a demo to Gene Simmons, our producer, and he really liked it, so said put it on the album. So it is a cover of the Bruce Springsteen song, but fucking hell, they just nail it. Like, Ron Keel has such brilliant, amazing, emotive vocals, and like, you just hear the emotion in his voice. Like, again, this song is about, you know, love and relationships and complications and everything, but it's just, like, you know, the way they deliver the chorus, it's fist pumping again, like, just, it's like a metalized version of the song Because the Night, but it's so hard hitting and rocking and heavy. I absolutely love it. And yeah, like I said, the vocals are really emotional and atmospheric, and a brilliant guitar solo from Mark Ferrari in this. So like, just this metalized version of Because the Night, it is so good. So some people might say, oh, it's not really a power ballad because it's too fast, like it's kind of a mid-pace song. But remember, especially in the verses, it's all clean guitars, and it's sort of those softer moments before building up to the hard rocking chorus. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. I consider this a power ballad, and it's such a great song. So Keel with Because the Night, originally by Bruce Springsteen. Okay, heard something upstairs. Is there something wrong, Roger? No. Have you seen House? All right. Okay, what's next? Okay, now, I couldn't talk about power ballads without mentioning Kiss, but they have quite a few power ballads, some of which I don't like, some which I do. Initially I was thinking my favorite power ballad by Kiss is I Still Love You from Creatures of the Night, but then I realized quickly that this is undoubtedly the one. So from Crazy Nights, and the song I'm talking about is Reason to Live. Like the very first time I heard this song, you know, when I saw the MTV video clip, you know, when they're all performing on stage and Bruce is playing the keyboards, I just think this is such a dark, atmospheric track. Like the chorus is like a fist-pumping, anthemic sing-along chorus. You know, everybody's got a reason to live, everybody's got a dream and a hunger inside. So again, cheesy but uplifting, so it's good. But the main part I like about this song is the instrumental intro and the verse part of the song. You know, like what's the lyrics at the start of the song? Like out of touch, there's nobody around, or I hear is the sound of a broken heart. Like I think those vocal melodies are absolutely brilliant from Paul. Again, sort of like melancholic and dark and depressing, and there's extra atmosphere added with the synths, which is absolutely amazing. So I think Bruce played the synths on this. So this album is sort of the epitome of the 1980s, the late 80s. It was released in 87. I'm not a massive fan of this album overall, as you might have heard me say, but I think there's 3 or 4 really good songs, and yeah, this is absolutely my favorite power ballad by Kiss, Reason to Live. So check it out if you haven't. I think that noise upstairs is the wind's blowing hard or something like that, so there's some doors rattling, but it's slightly unnerving. I'll check it out later. All right, what have we got next? Oh, I nearly missed out on this one today, but I absolutely love this song. So another favorite power ballad of mine from Crocus's Change of Address, the song Let This Love Begin. So yes, it is a love song, it's an uplifting song, but again, what I like about this song is it's dark and melancholic. Like the chorus is very happy and sentimental, you know, like let my heartbreak end, let this love begin. But the part I really like of the song, again, is, you guessed it, the verse and the pre-chorus. Like again, they use some synths on this track, and the vocal melodies are very dark and melancholic as well. Like the part where he says, dream about you is all I do. Sorry, I'm getting disturbed by the noises upstairs. It must be a strong wind today. Oh yes, it is. Typically I never get that when I'm at the beach. How's that? That's irony. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, the pre-chorus, it's very melancholic, you know, where the part where he says, look at the love and all I've had, I know I shouldn't be sad because you and me were made for love, you know it's written in the stars above. Like, so cheesy, but it's melancholic and atmospheric and powerful. And then the fist pumping chorus, yes, it's cheesy, but I absolutely love it. So brilliant power ballad by Crocus, Let This Love Begin. Okay, coming up next, now this is another example of a power ballad which is not hair metal and not even heavy metal, but I had to include it because it's one of my favorite songs, and that is, sorry, I'm just gonna pause there. I'll be literally 10-15 seconds. I'm just gonna check this noise upstairs, yeah. Actually pretty scary. I closed some doors, but this powerful wind is still creating some noise. So sorry, I'm not going to make this video again, so you'll just have to put up with the live disturbances, but this is just to prove it's unedited. Okay, so where was I? It's a non-metal song, but it's a brilliant power ballad. From Mick Jagger's Who's the Boss, the song I'm talking about is Hard Woman. I always liked this song for the moment I heard it first time. It's a very powerful, sentimental ballad, like a piano ballad with some synths. So it's mainly piano, synths, and drums, and it's a song about like Mick, I suppose, like reaching the painful realization that he has to end a relationship with a woman because he's not being treated well in the relationship. You know, like she's a hard lady, she's a tough cookie. And the lyrics are so powerful in this, and the way he sings it, like he does that kind of snarled, breathy voice, like just pouring out the emotion in the song. And the piano riff is really good as well. Like, this is a song that piano riff just sticks in my head, and I even air piano that that like the main part at the end of the song, because it's absolutely brilliant. But this song really resonates with me. It's a very emotional power ballad, and I just can't believe that it didn't become a smash hit because, you know, it's just such a powerful song lyrically and musically, in my opinion. And there's some brilliant lines in it. Like I said, you know, she's a hard lady, she's a tough cookie, but you know what? Oh yeah, like an example, he says, I could have loved in vain for 1,000 years, I had to let her go. So like a reference to the Rolling Stones song, Love in Vain. But there's like some parts, you know, it's soft and somber at the start, but then it builds up to like when he really pours his emotion out. And like the climax being when he says, she was unfaithful, treated me cruelly, where is the mercy, where is the love? You just feel the emotion and the power of this song. So it would be a good song if you've just broken up with someone, you're sitting in a smoky bar by yourself with a pint. It would be a good song for that. But yeah, absolutely brilliant song. So if you haven't heard it, do check it out. Hard Woman by Mick Jagger. Okay, how many have we got to go? Okay, only a few more. Okay, so I couldn't talk about power ballads without mentioning Scorpions, of course. So I've actually chosen two, and don't worry, they're not the predictable ones. They are not Wind of Change or Still Loving You. Both good songs, you know, in themselves, but I've heard them played zillions of times, so I'd probably never have to actually put those songs on again. But just talking about my two favorite Scorpions power ballads. Okay, the first one from Blackout, the last track, When the Smoke is Going Down. Again, this song is not about love, but it's just like a very melancholic track. And I think the atmosphere is very dark, like it's eerie. This song, when I hear it, it makes the hairs on my arm stand on end because it's got this kind of, the lyrical concept and the atmosphere are so dark with those clean sort of melancholic guitars. But you know, it's a song about Klaus Meine. At the end of the show, when the arena or the stadium's empty, he just walks on stage again to look at the scene and like capture the energy that was there. So he's looking at this silent, empty arena, which is so creepy in itself, and then just thinking about all the power and energy that happened that night. You know, he says like, just when you've made your way back home, I find some time to be alone. And like I claim, you know, he talks about climbing the stage to just capture that atmosphere again, and it's just so good, like full of clean guitars and melancholic melodies. And like I said, the hairs on my arm stand on end with this song. And like again, it's those heavy guitars coming in at the chorus, brilliant stuff. So Scorpions with When the Smoke is Going Down. And the other Scorpions song, I think this is an underdog power ballad by Scorpions, and I think it should have been more popular. Most people say their favorite is Still Loving You, but for me, it's from this one, Savage Amusement. Again, the last track, Believe in Love. So it's a song about heartbreak again. You know, about like a woman who's ended a relationship with him and he doesn't want it to end. And you know, that's just like emotionally powerful, I suppose. And the fact that it's kind of depressing but kind of uplifting at the same time. But it's just got some really great vocal melodies, a great chorus, and I also really like the video clip of this song where it shows snippets of them, you know, on their tour in Russia, I think in the late 80s. But it's kind of a sentimental and sappy power ballad, yes, but it's just written really well, and I think that's fantastic. So Scorpions, Believe in Love. I much prefer it to Still Loving You. Yeah. All right. Don't worry guys, not many more to go. In fact, just 2 to go. All right. Okay, so the next one, another one of my favorite power ballads, is by this band, Warrant. It's not actually from this album. The song that I'm talking about is from the album Cherry Pie, but I don't own that, shock horror, so I'm just showing you Warrant anyway. But the song I'm talking about is I Saw Red from Cherry Pie. Again, it's like a depressing power ballad, yes, and the lyrics are pretty heavy because it's about him catching his wife or girlfriend in bed with another man, which, as you can imagine, would be a hard situation for sure. Yeah, so it's a very emotionally powerful song, and you know, he's got these sort of very sort of somber, clean vocals in the chorus, and then the chorus has got some good acoustic guitars and atmospheric vocals, but where I think the song really shines is the bridge part, where like he just pours his emotion out and he's screaming, like when he says, I never thought it would end this way. Brilliant guitar solo, and then at the end he's just screaming, but melodically, I saw red. Again, that is so powerful that it makes the hairs on my arm stand on end when I hear that, because it's emotionally powerful. Like, again, quite a cheesy song, but quite heavy subject matter, but it really captures that emotion, you know, I suppose, of anger, like seeing red. Yeah, it's just brilliantly. So rest in peace, Janie Lane. What a brilliant vocalist and songwriter too. So Warrant with I Saw Red. Okay, and finally, this is one, I think this counts as a power ballad, so I apologize if you don't agree, but I'm talking about Wasp, and the track I'm talking about from the self-titled debut is Sleeping in the Fire. So is it a power ballad? In my opinion, yes, because it's like again, the verse part of the song, it's very somber and dark with acoustic guitars, and then it's got this very fist-pumping anthemic chorus, which is still very melancholic as well. So I really like it, and this is like an example of where it's not the typical power ballad subject matter. It's not talking about love in this song. From my understanding, it's sort of like admiring the grandeur of Satanism or Satan or something. Like it seems to be, I don't know, but because I think Blackie Lawless was into that before he became a born-again Christian later, but I think this is when the band was sort of exploring a satanic theme. But let me know in the comments if you know exactly what this song is about. But like I think it's like an admiration for the dark side or something. But absolutely brilliant song, like so 80s, but such a brilliant sing-along chorus, and it's just so full of melancholy, and it's a bit haunting, so again makes the hairs on my arm stand on end. So yeah, Wasp with Sleeping in the Fire. Very unconventional sort of power ballad, but absolutely brilliant. Interesting subject matter too. And as I finish, the rain is coming down. So glad I turned the light on. So there it is, guys. They are my top 14 power ballads of all time. So I hope you enjoyed it. I know a lot of you think anything that's not extreme metal is shit, and some of you might say, oh, we didn't realize that you had a soft and sentimental side. Yes, you betcha, you have no idea. So I'm only human, so like, you know, I've always liked hair metal, and I think these songs resonate powerfully and emotionally, and I think as humans we can relate to a lot of these topics. So I think especially when you can relate to the lyrics of certain power ballads, it really resonates with you and has an even stronger meaning. So there you go. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of these power ballads, what you think of my opinions. Try and keep it civil, and if I've left anything out, try and tell me what are some of your favorite power ballads. Wow, the rain is really lashing down here as well, so maybe it's all that outpour of emotion with this theme. I don't know. But yeah, the doors upstairs keep opening and closing, so I'm going to go and check that out. But thanks a lot for watching. Now, for those of you who have, you know, casted this rag down in disgust and said, oh, I'm not going to watch this anymore because he talked about power ballads. If you've made it this far, in the next video I am going to talk about a black metal band, as I said. So I'm doing a ranking discographies of one of my favorite black metal bands. So we're back to the extreme stuff in the next video. So George, once again, thanks a lot for making your original video, because I thought it was a fantastic original idea and I wanted to jump on. So hope you enjoyed it too. And thanks very much, guys. I won't take up any more of your time. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Bye.